Call of Duty Modern Warfare 2 early access is just days away, and there's a ton of things to cover. Release times for early access, preloads on both PC and consoles, system requirements, and what exactly will transfer over from Modern Warfare 2 and Warzone 2. So hit that like button, support the channel, and let's get right to it. The transfer of game items from one generation of a game to another has always been kind of a straight cut. You leave everything behind, and that's pretty much it. Well, with Call of Duty, over the recent years, we've been a little bit lucky to get some of the items to transfer over from one version to the next. Or at least with Warzone, we would still get some items. It seems we might not get that lucky this time. So let's start out with some of the bad news. Yes, this is not what we would want, spending so much time and money into Warzone and Call of Duty skins. It appears that these items will not be transferring over into the new engine and games. As expected, rank gains and levels also will not be transferring over. This includes any progress you may have had in the beta. The beta rank and levels are going to be wiped out as fully expected. That is the same for almost any new beta that comes out. There are a few games that will kind of let you keep the level from a beta release into the game. That's mostly because you really weren't playing a beta, but just an early preview, just to get you hyped on its next release. Now, let's get to some of the good and maybe a bit sad news. We will likely be getting our Call of Duty points transferred over, as well as any tokens you may have. Now, be careful with that because some tokens have had problems transferring over depending on how you get it, but that's mostly on console. On PC, I'm pretty sure they have been pretty steady with the transfer over to something else. This was the same situation with Vanguard and Black Ops Cold War. Unfortunately, I've been using the tokens lately, and I guess I'm going to have to start stacking them up just a bit now. We will also be getting the beta rewards that we got from playing the beta. If you reach level 30, you should receive all the items. We won't go into what you get from the beta because we did cover this already in great detail. Now, the reason why I say that there is some sad news to this, that's because you may have noticed that Warzone and Modern Warfare 2019 has started to make things seem like there's a deal. Like if you buy a pack, such as you'll get 300 Call of Duty points when the item costs around 2,400 points, and you're still spending, actual cash money on those points. This is because they know all the items right now will be worthless in about a month. But why turn off the money spigot when you can just let it trickle in for the few that are still available to buy those packs? If I were to give any recommendations right now, that would be not to spend any of your Call of Duty points or buy any skins in Warzone, as everything's going to change dramatically when Warzone 2 releases on November 16th. Now, how do you get early access? Well, that's the easy part. All you need to do is pre-order the digital copy of Modern Warfare 2, and keep in mind that this is only for the digital copy. If you buy a hard copy for any platform, you do not get early access. This is a strong effort to weed out hard copies of the game, which have been progressing over the years. Now for when you can expect to preload the early access content and multiplayer content. This depends on the platform you are on. If you're on console, preload for early access will be available on October 19th. Players have confirmed this, and it seems to be the case as expected. Preloads have been showing up in the PlayStation Store. For the multiplayer version of the game, console players should expect preload around 7 days before the release date, which is on the 21st. We don't expect a preload for PC until about 3 days to release. They normally do this to prevent data mining on PC that may give spoilers, information that's not ready to be released about on the final project. Not to mention, the hackers get a head start to ruin the launch day, but I will keep my hopes up that we will have a very clean launch, and of course, there's always going to be a few bad apples, but the new Ricochet antivirus is promising, as well as the new phone verification system. The times that we should see the campaign early access will be around noon Central Time, 1 p.m. Eastern, 10 a.m. Pacific Time, and depending on where you're located, you'll be seeing the game on the 21st, which is 7 days as promised, or a week before the release date, as they've mentioned. This is all according to Charlie Intel and The Loadout. There's no official statement that has been released by Activision or Infinity Ward yet. Now, the system requirements have not changed much from the beta. Normally, they will have updated this, and I'm kind of surprised that they have not. We will have to assume that the system requirements are going to be the same that we've seen in the beta. If we get an update, I will definitely post a new video on what they are and what we might have to expect. So let's go ahead and take a quick look at the basic requirements. We have the Intel Core i5 3570 or an AMD Ryzen 5 1600X, 8 gigabytes of RAM. The GPUs they recommend for minimum requirements is the GTX 670 or an AMD RX 470, 2 gigabytes of video RAM, and a storage of around 25 gigabytes. And remember, that is only for the campaign. So once we get multiplayer in there, this is going to probably triple up. We'll see probably around 100 gigabytes. Now for the recommended specs, we have the Core i7 4770K, AMD Ryzen 7 1800X. We also have a GTX 670, which is the same as the minimum, which that doesn't make too much sense to me, but whatever. An AMD Radeon RX 580, 2 gigabytes of video RAM, and 25 gigabytes minimum storage. So I'm not sure why they actually have that change there, but I assume they have a reason why they have the GTX 670 for both the minimum and recommended specifications. Now, I do have to say that I am quite disappointed that we will not be getting a lot of the items to transfer over that we can actually use because, like I said, a lot of people out there have spent a lot of money on these things, such as skins and, just everything for Modern Warfare, or I should say Warzone, because that is one of their bigger markets. And it's kind of shameful that they're actually, going out there and just still, collecting people's money for this. They should really start shutting that down, seeing that everything's going to be worthless in about a month. Tell me what you think in the comments below. Are you going to be happy with changing everything, leaving everything behind? Are you happy about the changes that they're going to make? Or are you going to skip this and try to just keep playing Warzone 1 and see how that goes? Because they are not taking down those servers, not for a while yet. They definitely still want to keep those up because they can still make money off them. I don't see any reason why most people won't, seeing that it's a free game anyway. It may have to do with the hardware requirements, but I highly doubt that, as both of them are quite pretty low. Anyway, I want to thank everybody for watching this video today. Make sure you hit that like button and definitely subscribe if you're new to the channel. You all take care and happy gaming.